Nestled away in the Blue Flames archipelago, Bilgewater is a port city like no other. Home to serpent hunters, dock gangs, and smugglers from across the known world. Here fortunes are made and ambitions are shattered in the blink of an eye. Over time becoming a vital stop for trade ships traveling near the Serpent Isles, almost everything can be purchased here. From outlawed hextech to the favor of local crime lords, there's no better place to seek fame and fortune, through death lurks in every alleyway and the law is almost non-existent. For many of those fleeing justice, debt, or prosecution, Bilgewater is a city of new beginnings. But for some, the past is something you can never escape. Tobias Twisted Fate Foxtrot, hired by an unknown benefactor, was tasked to steal and return a crimson coil dagger from one of Captain Gangplank's warehouses located in Ratstown Slaughter Dock. Easily avoiding the detection of the Jagged Hooks gang, Twisted Fate managed to infiltrate the warehouse, only to be confronted by his old partner, Malcolm Graves. T.F and Graves have history together, so I'll quickly tell you the story of these two, then we can get back to the main plot. Their partnership started when they recognized a kindred soul in one another across a table during a high-stakes game in Mudtown. They both shared the same reckless passion for danger and adventure, which is what encouraged them to form their partnership. Graves being the brawn and T.F being the brains, and they were an unusually effective team from the outset. Their mutual sense of roguish honor grew into genuine trust, and together they hustled across Valorant. They were forced apart when a heist went south, Graves being sent to the locker despite Twisted Fate's efforts to save him. Graves endured years of torture and solitary confinement, during which time he nursed his bitter anger toward his old partner, and convinced TF had betrayed him. Graves was determined to take his revenge. Filled with rage at his partner's betrayal, Graves started shooting at Tobias in an effort to settle the score with him. With Gangplank's warehouse burning and pirate captain's thugs swarming, the resolution of Graves and Twisted Fate's long-simmering feud threatened to engulf the entire city in flames. Informed of the destruction of his warehouse, Gangplank set off to catch both men in the act. Both Graves and Twisted Fate tried to flee from the wrath of the Pirate King, but with no success. Gangplank tortured them, then tried to publicly execute them in front of the whole city for their misbehavior. Hearing the news of this event, Sarah Fortune set her plan in motion to confront Gangplank for murdering her parents. Graves had managed to sneak away with one of Twisted Fate's cards, snatched during their previous fight around the city. Twisted Fate used the card to teleport out of his chains. Both he and Graves nearly drowned in the resulting mayhem, but at the moment, Misfortune's plan hit its climax, and his ship, the Dead Pool, exploded. Gangplank was presumed dead in the blast. The fall of Gangplank, Bilgewater descended into chaos as old rivalries were settled in blood and gang warfare threatened to tear the city apart. Misfortune, the leading figure of this uprising, systematically removed all of Gangplank's former and continuing allies from any place of power, so as to assure her spot as the ruler of Bilgewater. During one of her excursions, she was stopped by Ilaoi, who warned Fortune to stop her foolish behavior and prepare for the coming harrowing. I'll explain what the harrowing is for a bit, and after that we can get back to the story. The Shadow Isles were once a beautiful realm, long since shattered by a magical cataclysm. Now, black mist permanently shrouds the land, tainting and corrupting with its malevolent sorcery. Those who perish within it are condemned to become part of it for all of eternity. And worse still, each year the mist extends its grasp to reap more souls across Runeterra. At times, the black mist reaches across the seas. Spirits of the dead go with it. The harrowing strikes most frequently in Bilgewater. Those slain by the spirits during the harrowing are damned, their souls dragged back to the Shadow Isles when the black mist retreats. As a fisherman and a warrior of the Freljord, Olaf desired worthy battles and a glorious death to avert an old curse. The Krakenworm, one of his monstrous kills during his stay in Bilgewater, was sold to one of many Bilgewater slaughter dogs. Amidst the constant chaos of the city streets, Lucian prepared for the harrowing's arrival. The next evening, the harrowing arrived in Bilgewater in an attempt to purge and rip the souls out of everyone within. Undead spirits flew across the night sky and shrouded the city in a dark mist of damned shrieking souls of the Shadow Isles. People fled, cowered, or prayed to the bearded lady for the black mist not to take them. With each citizen and living thing killed, a new spirit arose. Even the carcass of the Kraken worm arose, seemingly wanting to finish its fight with its slayer. During all this, Thresh sought out new victims and souls for his collection. Unbeknownst to him, he was being hunted by Lucian. Enraged by the presence of his wife's killer, Lucian swore to defeat the monster and finally rid the world of its torment. In the end, Thresh managed to escape his pursuer after a short and tense battle. As a parting gift of further torment, Thresh had conveyed that the soul of his wife, Senna, was still trapped inside his lantern. An unsettled Lucian would continue his purge of the undead while also trying to save the soul of his dead wife. Olaf, Lucian, and Misfortune ended up meeting one another in a brawl against the undead. Remembering the advice Alawi gave her, Misfortune proposed that they head towards the temple of Nagakaburus to seek out the help of his priestess. But while traversing the Butcher's Bridge, they were confronted at the temple's entrance by Hekorn. Separated and barely escaping with their lives, they managed to get inside the temple, where some of the surviving citizens prayed with Alawi for Nagakaburu's salvation. As the Black Mist and the undead army poured into the temple, Alawi fended off the onslaught with the power of her god, and freed Bilgewater from the threat of heroin. Despite his losses, the city lived on. Misfortune and Lucian, each given a new purpose, parted ways and wished each other luck. After Olaf's second encounter with the undead Krakenworm, he also departed Bilgewater seeking out new challenges and worthy battles. Due to the power vacuum left by Gangplank's death, the Corsair Conclave was formed. It was a truce between the city's four strongest crews led by Captain Bragg, Sir Peter Harker, Crow, and Captain Fortune. 6 months after the events of Burning Tides considered Fortune's machinations against Gangplank, the other three captains came to the conclusion that Fortune is the only wild card in the truce. They decided to temporarily redistribute half of her men to their gangs and take her guns. Trying to maintain her forces through a peaceful deal, Misfortune visits Peter Harker's house, trying to seduce him into voting into her favor. Arguing that Bragg and Crow are old allies and would turn against Harker soon enough, the tentative attempt fails, and Peter attacks Fortune with her own guns. Forced to retreat, Misfortune secretly calls another parley with McGregor's kill house on the Slaughter Dogs, disguised as his doorman taking the captain's guns. Misfortune manages to kill the rest of the Corsair's Conclave and decides to rule Bilgewater alone. Misfortune continues to try to unite her gangs under rule, but many continue to resist or sympathize with Gangplank. One evening, her mansion attacked by the Black Mist. Fearing another harrowing is imminent, she contacts Alawi for help. Meanwhile, Alawi and her Buru warrior track down Pike and plan to put an end to his killings. But when he's found worthy of Nakaguru's test, Alawi is left questioning her choices.
You, the priestess from the docks, you put the new voice in my head.
I tested you. Yes, the Mother Serpent deemed you worthy.
You've killed a lot of good men. I'd be doing the world a favor by gutting you right here.
Sarah, he is chosen.
Well, make better choices.
I have seen the truth in the deep. Blood in the water. And on my list, one name burns brightest.
What name?
Gangplank.
She soon encounters Braum after her people fished him from bay when he comes seeking the waters of life from the Shadow Isles to cure his people. They are both summoned by Fortune to discuss the return of the Black Mist. With Alawi and Braum agreeing to investigate Grey Harbor, shortly Yasuo and Ari arrive from Ionia, seeking more info about the Vezani. They are soon informed about a tip in one of the black markets and learn that a member of the Jagged Hooks, Gangplank's gang, has recently purchased a Vezani Sunstone and was headed into Grey Harbor. Ari sneaks off to find the Sunstone herself, but Yasuo pursues her. He encounters Alawi and Braum as they fight Mistwalkers near the entrance of the Grey Harbor and agree to venture in together. They find the Jagged Hooks and interrogate them, learning that Ari is following Gangplank, who now has the Sunstone as well as the other Buru artifacts that can manipulate the Black Mist to the Shadow Isles. The group investigates a nearby Buru temple and vanquish the Naga who have taken residence and purified the temple. They learn from Buru that a Gangplank raided the temple and stole the artifacts. They reveal their findings to Miss Fortune, who is furious that her nemesis is still alive, but agrees to help them reach the Shadow Isles. They set sail after rallying her cute crew. Along the way, they are attacked by a sea monster but are saved by Pike, who reveals that Nakakaburu has quieted the voices in his head and wants to join them, as Gangplank is on his list. On the Shadow Isles, they track Ari to a grove after finding her cloak but are attacked by Maokai. Ari intervenes and shares the history of the Isles from Maokai's memories. Maokai reveals that Gangplank has partnered with Thresh to awaken the ruined king.
I was, with free rein to roam the island. Now, the mist creates walls, impassable barriers that even I cannot penetrate. You seek Gangplank. He stirs the mist. It appears more dangerous, even more nightmarish. It moves where it should not.
That doesn't answer my question.
I am held back, Deep One. My roots, which once drank of the blessed waters beneath the Shadow Isle's surface, are now absorbing the black mist. It has invaded the vaults below.
Blessed water? Guardian friend, might Brom find some in these vaults?
No. The wells have run dry. What blessed water remains now courses through my leaf and root.
After returning Maokai to strength, the group attacks Thresh Fortress. Inside, they find Gangplank's Sunstone. They manage to defeat the Chain Warden, but not before Gangplank awakens Viego. Viego possesses Gangplank and uses him to attack the heroes, while he heads to Bilgewater to search for his queen. They manage to defeat Gangplank and free him from Viego's influence, taking him with them as their prisoner. Ari discovers Viego's true memories through the lingering black mist on Gangplank and learn that his love was not as pure as he made it out to be. Gangplank gives Illaoi his necklace, a Buru artifact that can control the mist, to aid in their battle against Viego, but it has become more corrupted during his possession. They manage to catch up to Viego, but he maroons them on a nearby island. As Fortune Gang repairs their ship, he also confronts his past when the magic of the island manifests his greater regrets. They beat Viego to Bilgewater, and Illaoi asks the Buru to help fix the necklace. While others help fortify the city for coming harrowing, the group returns for the Shadow Isles to search for a hidden Buru forge to cleanse the necklace, and are directed to its location by Nekrit, a former advisor of Viego, who reveals it lays within the Vazani vault. Inside the vault, Ari learns more about her people and how they use their sunstones to channel their power of memories and emotions. Ari then decides to use Gangplank's sunstone to house Viego's memories in order to weaken him, at the expense of the Vazani memories that remained in the vault. The group summons Nakakaburos within the forge to cleanse their necklace and are tested by her avatar. After arresting her, the Mother Serpent cleanses the amulet and they return for the final battle. Along the way, Illaoi reveals that she aided Gangplank's recovery because Nakakaburos found him worthy, but Fortune is focused on wanting revenge. They return to Bilgewater and find the Buru already fighting Viego. They join the battle and weaken him with memory-empowered Sunstone, and Fortune unleashes the amulet against him. She nearly falls to his corruption, but is pulled back and overpowers him, trapping him within the amulet. After the battle, Fortune learns that Gangplank has escaped and goes to pursue her nemesis, but entrusts Illaoi to hide the amulet. The remaining members celebrate their victory before heading off on their own paths. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, please leave a like or maybe even subscribe. I hope to make more videos in the future, so stay tuned. Goodbye.